Hey, what it do, what the business is.
It is another week in the books with the On Deck TV podcast. I am Spike Lou.
Man, holla at your boy Animal Brown, Animal_Brown, if you're looking for me on social media.
Absolutely. That is the On Deck TV show. My mistakes there. I am on those same social sites. Holla at your boy. I am Spike Lou. I these same social streets. How you feeling out there, AB?
Man, feeling good, feeling great. It wasn't 100 degrees over the weekend, so that's a good thing. We're trending in the right direction with the temperature. I appreciate it.
That shit right back this week. Record-breaking highs, my nigga. It is hot outside, summer preview, and what better to talk about in the summertime than hot southern music. We're talking influential southern hip-hop albums. We'll give you 5 of those. We'll also talk about the XXL Freshman Class. We usually do an episode. Is it telling that we're not doing one this time? And Memphis Bleak and Juelz Santana are going back and forth about a potential versus. But first, speaking of telling Animal Brown, the people are looking at their phones. They're tuning in just for this. The texts I received were outrageous. They said, Spike Lou, hold Animal Brown to his shit because his boy littered over the weekend. Flat out littering, throwing trash out. If you don't know what we're talking about your man Aubrey Graham coming out with a brand new album, teased it, told us it was coming, then boom, did the Beyonce on us. And over the weekend it dropped. Wasn't what you were expecting though, Animal Brown. I'm kind of sure of that. So my question to you is this. How disappointed were you with this brand new Drake album that dropped?
I wasn't that disappointed at all. I get it. For those of you who stayed up till midnight, waited on it, anticipated it, you know, you couldn't go to sleep at night because you heard Drake was dropping. I understand, man. I'm a fan too. All right. So shout out to all you fans out there like you who stayed up like till midnight to listen.
Like me. Oh, you want to talk about fans. Okay. So you want to get right into it. So before you even go further, all right. I absolutely did. And the reason being,
you're a fan.
I was out minding my business, getting my golf on. In the middle of my back swing, group chat starts going crazy. Who was it? What's going on? Did something happen? There's a Drake release. Oh my God. Animal Brown, J-Hove, FSP, cameraman, Full Sport Press cameraman, all of these guys, super Drake fans. They say, Kendrick, pack it up. Future, go home. Nobody else needs to even come outside. J. Cole, what have you been doing over the last 4 years? It doesn't matter. Because we got a secret Drake drop and we're about to crush everybody. These niggas was clicking up like the Avengers. I didn't say a word. I said, cool. We're going to see what it do. I didn't say anything, but at 12:01, I hit play. Oh, my God, I was so happy. Each time I skipped a song, I got happier and happier. Skip, oh my God, this is great. Skip, great. Skip, great, because I knew niggas was going to be disappointed. But I'll let you get back to it.
Yeah, now 1 to 10, it was a 0 on disappointment. This wasn't disappointing at all. I didn't have any expectations.
That's sick.
Like, that's the thing, man. We guys
have expectations, bro. You came to the group chat at 6:01, a minute after he announced it and told niggas to pack it up. You did that. You did that. Nobody else did that, bro. That's high expectations, my nigga.
I didn't say he was going to drop a classic. I just told niggas to pack it up.
You were excited, though. No one said you shouldn't drop a classic. You were super excited. So how did you go from that excited to not disappointed? That doesn't
because the album doesn't bother me like that. Like, listen, I get it. You want to rate a dance album in your bed at 12:04 a.m.? That's perfectly fine if you want to do that, dude. That doesn't make sense to me. But if y'all want to do that, cool. I think there's a time and a place for the album. People were disappointed it was not a traditional rap album. I can understand that. You know what I'm saying? I get that. But he announced it 6 hours before it dropped. So it's not as if I saw somebody said, man, if only he would have just said this was a dance album before he dropped it. What difference would that have made if you're not into dance music, dude? You still would have thought it was some slaw.
No, stop right there. It makes a difference because you wouldn't have pretended like the second coming of Jesus was about to happen at 12 a.m. You wouldn't have done that. Like, you would have seen that post, it would have said, oh, a dance album is coming out. You would have kept scrolling, we would have talked about every other ridiculous shit that we talk about in our group chat. Me, at 12:01, I would have been asleep. I wouldn't even hit play if I didn't know that it wasn't going to be like, well, excuse me, if I knew that it was going to be some dance shit. So I disagree with you there 100%.
It said dance when you download it. It says category dance. Like,
who reads that?
And look, at 12:30 at night, you probably didn't see that. That's a fact. This is why you don't listen to shit at midnight. You go to sleep like me, nigga, at 10:30, and then I wake up to all this shit in the group chat. Niggas laughing at niggas' demises. Y'all would have thought he put out a traditional rap album and it was garbage. That's when you can wake me up. Wake me up when he puts out a traditional rap album and it's trash, which has never happened. Tell me when that happens. Until then, I don't care if he puts out an island album. This shit is cool. Like, it's not my bag. I don't listen to dance music. So this isn't really doing anything for me. I do feel there is a time and a place for it. So next time I'm in Greece, in my villa on the beach, and I'm ordering my $150 steak, this is exactly what I'm going to be listening to. And it's going to hit completely different than laying in your bed at 1 a.m., listening to it, trying to give a review. It's not going to hit the same in those environments. Some music hits different in different environments. I think this is one of those projects. That's all. Nothing to see here. He'll drop off a 4-piece in a couple weeks to remind niggas what time it is.
It's nuts. At your age, you're still not willing to admit defeat.
It's a dance album.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. So to double back, the reason for one, I know me, that I was so happy about it is not because the album was trash and not because I dislike Drake. It's because of the Drake Crusaders. Like, as soon as he announced something thinking, oh, this is about to be a classic, niggas got to pack it up, and you can't act like that didn't happen. Now, speaking for the rest of the internet and the other people out there, when you say giving reviews at 12:30 or they dancing on this grave, I mean, it happens to people at the top. I expect that. That's nothing new here. But again, staying on brand is super important. You study business, I do too. When Coke tried to do a new recipe, when Pepsi tried to do clear Coke, these things happen when you're as a big brand as Drake is. So, I mean, who cares that he's getting backlash about it? Because like you said, 2-3 years from now, the spaces that he's in, the places that he's going, they not hitting play on none of that Drake. And that ain't taking anything from him musically. I heard this somewhere and I thought it was a great point. Like, the spaces that he in when he's shouting out these princes of Saudi Arabia or whatever it may be on the song, what you think they listening to? This shit right here.
Yeah.
He hearing this in these spaces with these people with all of these money. Like, why wouldn't I want these people listening to me? I make music. Why y'all got this other oomph playing? Dude, I can do this too.
Yeah.
So, brilliant from the standpoint of growing his career. Like, I don't have a problem with that. Again, my whole thing was, and why I took the most joy was niggas like you, J-Ho, and the rest of the world just immediately giving the nigga the crown on he got the summer locked up, this, that, and the third. And it's cool based off his track record, but it was fun to let you guys like feel that pain. Cause I know you're lying. I know you're super disappointed.
Not at all.
Put it in the group chat. Me bobbing my head to that Drake all weekend. You thought it was gonna happen. You probably ain't listened to this shit since the first time you listened to this shit.
I will when I go on vacation.
Yeah, maybe then if that shit playing at the bar or something like that where I'm eating at, but I'm never finding this again and playing it no more. So I get it though, like the importance of being on brand, especially when you're a brand as big as Drake, making a pivot or a switch, you have to prepare people for that. You have to let people know. Hence the backlash, and who knows, maybe he wanted that. Like, you could argue with the last two releases, they've been big, but they haven't been what you expect from a Drake like superstar. Like it hasn't been trending upward as far as his last 3 releases. It's been trending maybe the same or slightly below as far as the anticipation of them. So with this, it comes out and everybody in the world's talking about it, regardless if they shitting on it or loving it. I think he's still getting a point across of increasing their brand as opposed to staying on track the way he had been.
I think more people like it than a lot of people think because they accepted it for what it was. And there, like I said, there's a time and a place. I'm not riding around listening to it though. No, there's no point in me riding in Atlanta listening to that. But I don't think that's what it's made for though. To be honest, I'm not riding listening to any dance music.
It's that chic music, nigga.
That's what I'm saying. This is listen, this $150 steak music, bro. Like it just is. This is a hotel lobby, Beverly Hills. Somebody said, I think Charlamagne said this hotel lobby at the nice hotel in Beverly Hills music, bro. Like
they playing this in the background at Foco de Chao.
There you go.
Brazilian steakhouse restaurant. That's what they doing. And it ain't nothing wrong with that. Again, like it's a small.
It's called versatility, man. Your favorite artist could never do it. Is what it's called.
Yeah, so, I mean, let me ask you this.
Okay.
Let's say you got these for the rest of Drake's career. These type of albums. Where does that put him then on your all-time scale? Like the last rap urban type of album that you got from him was what's the name of that?
Certified Lover Boy.
Oh, Certified Lover Boy, yeah. What if that was his last album like that? That
nigga,
take away from his career for you?
Put him on the Mount Rushmore, nigga. What are we talking about? He already on there.
That wouldn't take away from his career.
He's on the Mount Rushmore, etched in stone. What are we talking about?
I'm asking you, as a fan, if you never got a rap album from Drake again, would you be disappointed?
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, hell yeah.
That's all I wanted to know.
Yeah, absolutely. Next up, man. Speaking of disappointed, XXL Freshman Class. They released their cover over the weekend. Normally, we do an episode on the Freshman Class. Yeah, the fact that we didn't speaks volumes to possibly how we feel about it. You've seen the cover. You've seen the artist. Is this the worst freshman class that we've had?
Nah, these used to be one of our cornerstone episodes, and I don't think we review, go into the projects, talk about the people in the different freshman classes. I think that we've matured more in hip hop. You and I, specifically the On Deck TV show, as to where the focus of the XXL class isn't us. Like we always talk here about how hip hop has grown, it's expanded. There's now more of a contemporary rap, older, like more legendary or established artists or legacy artists. Those artists are still dropping music. When we first started this podcast, that wasn't necessarily a thing.
Right.
Like it was maybe Jay-Z was doing it, but Nas wasn't doing it every year. Jada Kiss didn't have Pusha T. Like it wasn't that,
right.
But now it is. So that gets more of my attention, I know that I would say, than paying attention to these people coming up on this list, unless I just really like an artist that's already popular and they fuck with the artist, like Big Scar, Big 30. Like I know those people. I've heard of Saucy Santana, obviously from social
right.
media. You'd have to be living under a rock if you didn't know who that was. So I think that there's just a different approach to it. They really doubling down on catering to the young crowd, and ain't, in my opinion, as much about talent anymore as it about personality and longevity in a creative space, not necessarily an artistic space being upper echelon. I don't think that they look for the upper echelon in the artistic realm like they did when you and I paid more attention of it. So yeah, the class is worse. But I don't think that it's from them not trying to be great. Like I think they trying for that. They looking for those type of people with that type of class of character.
I think between this and last year's, these have been really bad classes. And if you look, it's not as if 2011, 2012, 2013, they were picking established people who were already No, they picked young. 2011's class has a young Kendrick Lamar, has a young Big Crit, a young Meek Mill, a young Mac Miller, and a young YG. Like, that's a list. That's a freshman class. 4, 5, 6 of those, a young Sci-Hi the Prince. Like, some of these niggas went on to be stars. Like, that's my thing. The star power is what's missing. And now, is that an indictment on the rap game, period? Or just XXL not finding the right people? I don't know. Some would say it's an indictment on the game, not necessarily the magazine or the editors not being able to find top talent. Bro, this class is bad. It's bad, bro. I don't see no stars. You know what I'm saying? Like, the list is trash, bro. And I'm not even the type of person to just shit on anybody that's under 21. But the music, I listened to several of these. I mean, I listened to some of them in preparation for this. And a lot of them just sound like imitations of other things. They don't sound original to me. And then plus the people that I am familiar with, Babyface Ray, I'm just not a fan. It's just not my type.
Oh, yeah.
Big 30 is not he's okay. He sounds like Pooh Shiesty to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, the Baby Tron dude is some of the slawest shit I've ever heard, bro. Like, it's just some slaw. The list is trash. I'm not even gonna hold you. Nor the Wick album was bad. Like, I like his voice. You know what I'm saying? I like his flow, but I think his album was bad. The good record he had was because of Future. Like, it just, bro, I don't know who the star is on here, bro, at all.
Taking it beyond this cover, who do you think the star is of that generation? Do you see any stars in that generation? Because I know Punch from TDE put this out on Twitter maybe 6 weeks ago. We asked, like, who are superstars of rap? And I ain't talking about the Kendrick Lamar, J. Cole, Drake's. I'm talking about who is the next generation after that. Who would you say is that? That's what I mean. I don't know. I don't know.
The
game got it, period. Even if they could have picked 12 other people, they wouldn't have been, like, they just ain't got the quality to choose from, is what you're saying.
I would have at least had to have listened to some of this stuff and been like, I don't have to know who these people are. Let me be clear. Just because I don't know who they are, that doesn't mean they're not killing or they're not dope. They're not. So that ain't what I mean. What I mean is, okay, here's the list. Let me go check them out. Bro, it wasn't one person I would be like, oh, okay, I can see, okay, that motherfucker nice. Like, bro, it wasn't one person, bro. Not one. I was like, I don't get it. I just don't get it. Now, maybe in the Cypher.
I don't think that's for you.
When did it stop being for me, though?
Because, like you mentioned, the class that you mentioned, right? That was 2011, bro. That was 10 years ago, right? As you gradually grown in hip hop, you're not paying attention to a freshman. Like, you're not. The point that you made as when you glim through and you listening for it, like, that ain't what it is no more when you are an artist breaking. Like, it ain't you going to one or two projects listening to something and be like, okay, this motherfucker nice. It's more so you buying into their Instagram, you buying into knowing who they are, who do they know, who they affiliated with. I think the class is more so generated on that now, not the one you mentioned is strictly talent, which is for us. It starts to be less for us because I'm not following. I don't care about Big 30's IG. I don't like other than like Saucy Santana. I see him because he'll come across with famous people and the shit that he said about Blue Ivy not too long ago. So like he's in the zeitgeist more so than these other people. But there's nowhere that I would even come across these people to buy into what they are selling for XXL to have selected them because it wasn't for the music, obviously, as you heard when you went to go check it out. I think it used to be more about the music. Now it's more so about what we were just talking about with Drake. It's the brand. Who are these people? What are they followers? What did that video look like? Who is he affiliated with? It's more so that. And you ain't got time for that shit, bro. We don't got time for that shit. So when you ask the question, when did it stop become for us? When you stop having the time to invest to find out who these people were.
Dude, 2018, Ski Mask, the Slump God, Lil Pump, Block Boy JB, YBN Namir, Trippie Redd. Like, what? These niggas ain't had records in hellas, bro. And they were just on 2018, dude. Like, where's any of these niggas at, dude? That's all I want to know. Where's the star power?
I bet you they're on Instagram. I bet you they're on TikTok. I bet you they're there every day doing stuff that you and I think is fucking ridiculous, but still has them with 1 million followers. And XXL is saying, "Oh, we were right. They're trending now."
Yeah. Where the show at? Them niggas ain't doing no shows, nigga.
No, they not. But that ain't their generation, bro. They influencers. Like that ain't they ain't getting booked like that. They ain't getting booked to do shows and selling out whatchamacallit or whatever we may be.
I will say 2019 though, before we move on, Megan Thee Stallion, Gunna, The Baby, Corday, Roddy Ricch. Like there's still
a talented class.
That's a talented class. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying they got to be 10 for 10. Just give me 5 or 6. Give me the majority.
Even with that, here's the thing. I just asked you about a star. We just had that class. We've forgotten about them already because we're not invested into their. Like you couldn't tell me 10 minutes ago when I asked you, "Hey man, who's the star?" Period.
I got you.
It didn't come to your head. Megan, Corday, Roddy. Like they're still missing that star power, even though we're familiar with those names. And I think because their art is 100% better than the rest of the people that we've named too.
Yeah, the list aren't just complete washes. I just think it's been these last two because 2020 was straight too. These last two have been trash though.
So you think they mailed it in?
I just think the game is quiet.
You think the rap game in a whole has?
Yeah, I don't think there's 10. I don't think there's 10. I think the rap game is too wide. The lanes are too wide. And so you're right. These people can be popular and not be on any of our radars at all. But that's because there's a certain type. There's different types for everything right now, bro. It's like a buffet.
Facts. Whatever you're looking for, you can get it in abundance.
Right. And
Facts.
So that may not hit our radar.
Facts. Speaking of on the radar, VH1 dropped Clifford Harris, a.k.a. T.I., off of theirs. Amid the sexual allegations that came out, they're no longer renewing the contract for the Family Hustle series. T.I. released a statement and said, Animal Brown, 13 years, no loyalty. My question to you is very simple. Does T.I. have a point?
He does. He does. Those allegations have came and went. They've been quiet. Then it looks more and more by each day that he was right. It was cap. He said that. He said that the person was reaching and they were sour behind some other shit and that none of this stuff would stick. It hasn't. There's no court date. There's no lawsuits that I'm aware of. So it seems like, by all intents and purposes, that he was right. That shit was all smoke. So for VH1, who actually initially put the show on pause, which we said on the show was fair, you got the sexual allegation shit not flying past 2019 and on. Like when you get hit with that jacket, we got to at least take a time out to let shit settle. Now that things have seemingly settled, and then they still was like, nah, we good. After being with them for so many years, you would think he would have had a longer, quote unquote, leash with the network. So I do think that was kind of some slaw. And that was more of like a Run's House type positive. They weren't on there on no love and hip hop type shit. You know what I'm saying? Fighting and arguing. So it was a little bit more of a quote unquote like wholesome type show. So to see that being taken off and replaced with what's on there, that also is kind of some slaw because there needs to be balance. I'm not saying you can't have the ratchet shit, but you can at least balance it out with some relatively wholesome family shit. And so I do feel his point because he was right. He said the shit was bullshit. Nothing has happened. That shit has went away. And he's sitting there like, oh, word, I ain't got my show no more. Okay, that's what's up. If I was him, I would feel a certain type of way as well. I know it's business, it's dollars and cents, it's bottom lines, all of that. But, bro, ain't nobody thinking about them T.I. allegations no more, bro. That shit done came and went. You know how much shit done happened since them allegations, bro? Gas has quadrupled since them allegations. Nobody gives a damn about them allegations.
Luckily for T.I.
If anything, niggas need more shit to watch because we in the house, dude. Because niggas ain't trying to drive nowhere. So I understand completely, dude. I get T.I.'s point on this. Even though he's been missing the mark lately, I get him on this.
I completely disagree with you and T.I., and everybody knows that listens to this. That's my boy. expecting brand loyalty from VH1 because you had a show on there for 13 years, to me, is absolutely nuts. I'm not sure who T.I. thinks he is as far as star power, but VH1 ain't hitching their wagon to him and expecting him to take him to the top. He's just not in that stage of his career anymore. So when you tell me that there's, like you said, sexual allegation, I'm of course removing myself from you. Not to mention, I could have rolled with you had that been it, but every 2 weeks you speaking out about something, my nigga. Like, there's a reason that Steve Harvey gets criticism and people say, oh, he never does this and does that. Well, I've heard people say he uses the black community or stays out of the way in order, or just because he sold out. If you want to have that type of check that Steve Harvey got, you got to keep quiet. Like, that's just it. That's what he gets paid all of that money for. Like, there's not a reason for me to be standing out in front of a burning Wendy's if I'm Steve Harvey, because I got this show on ABC and CBS and NBC. I'll give to you behind the scenes, and I'll make sure I can contribute to the cause however I can, but I'm not going to jeopardize my brand. T.I. hasn't reached that phase. Like, he's out here every other week jeopardizing his brand, calling women, like, and I'm not saying that he's wrong for any of it.
Right.
I'm just saying from VH1 standpoint, like, I'm not attaching my wagon to a ticking time bomb like that. No, absolutely not. And on top of it, like you said, you have a wholesome show. You have a show where I'm sure when my producers come to you and they're like, well, let's talk about the sexual allegations on the show, you're going to say, no, absolutely not. And I think that T.I. said that he has final edit on that show. So I'm assuming that he lost leverage when you don't want to talk about this stuff that's going on in your real life because you want to keep it positive with VH1. We're like, bro, that ain't going to keep our lights on. We'll holler at you. I'm sorry. And T.I. should know that, being that far along in this business, bro. If you want to talk like he talk, you got to do it yourself. As far as independent and not being tied in or worried about people pulling out from your brand because you're outspoken. Or if you're going to work for VH1 and you want them to be loyal to you, then you got to go the Steve Harvey route. And neither one of them is wrong. It just depends on what you want.
Yeah.
So I definitely disagree with him here.
I look at it like this. I just got through watching the Martin reunion on BET, which was actually really dope. They did 5 seasons, dude. It was with them for 5 years with their network. T.I. almost tripled that being with VH1. There was clearly positives going on with the show, with him, with what they were putting on the network. It was clearly fruitful, or they damn sure wouldn't have been airing shit for 13 years straight. That's a long time to have a relationship with one singular network when it comes to TV, because we all know how quick shit comes and goes, dude. You have one season, nigga, you lucky to get 2. So to be doing something 13 years and for it to end on an allegation that, again, seems to be false, that's some slaw, and that's a slippery slope too. I don't like that people are not given like any type of leeway, especially when you've earned in this situation where you've earned it. That's kind of some slaw, man. I just don't like the precedent that's setting. That's whack. Especially when other entertainers and other people get 10 strikes. That's whack.
I don't think it's surprising, bro. Like, I just don't see that as surprising. Like, I would expect T.I. to have expected this. Like, I'm doing my own production of Family Hustle, and I've moved on from this. I don't even have a comment. That would have been my expectation from T.I. Not I expect loyalty from VH1, because why? Like, what brand has been loyal to a black man that got in trouble?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Well, Nike. They re-signed Tiger. They re-signed Tiger. I'm saying it's rare. I understand what you're saying, but that's my point, though. In a perfect world, it shouldn't be like that, but it is what it is.
True. I'll just quote Tiger here and say he ain't black. That's why. But I'm just being funny there. Yeah, they did. Tiger was one, but and that goes to my point as far as T.I. You're not that brand. You're not Tiger Woods, bro.
Nah, he ain't Tiger Woods.
Having a very real understanding of where you are right now, as Clifford Harris, as T.I., would probably help him digest that better, because maybe he thinks, like you just said, he's on the Tiger Woods status, and I ain't shitting on T.I.'s career accomplishment at all. But right now, if I'm VH1, like, I'm not taking chances with that, bro. Like, what if something else come out?
Yeah.
Like, nah, I'm I'm good, bro. And can you tell me? And again, if I'm VH1, I'm asking T.I. like, can you 100% tell me that this won't happen 2 years from now? You can't, because he. You know what I'm saying? We know how it was when he was coming up as a rapper.
No.
Who knows what's going to be decided to be said if somebody feeling froggy one day? So I can't, bro. I can't be. We had a good run. You were entertaining. I hope you got as much money as you needed from this, and that's cool. But nah, I'm good moving forward. Fun
fact, though, I took a tour of the city I live in, and we are like 5 minutes from his house, from the house that they filmed that series in. They rolled us by the little house and shit. It was funny. I was like, oh, that's what's up. It's crazy.
That's dope.
Random as fuck.
Pretty big house.
Yeah, it is.
Gated. The one Rick Ross got?
Nah, hell no.
Ain't comparable at all.
Fuck no. That nigga got the White House, dude. Rick Ross shit's stupid. Rick Ross shit is worth literally just riding out to Fayetteville just to ride by his house. It's worth it. Before we get to the topic, guys, real quick, Memphis Bleek and Juelz Santana have been going back and forth on social media, basically begging and pleading Swiss and Timberland to give them a versus because they can't be talking to us. Listen, are you here for it? And if so, who wins?
Clearly, you're over these guys. Nah, man. It may be entertaining. It may be entertaining to sit and watch an hour of it. I don't think I would make it through the whole 20 songs.
Hell no.
It's okay. Like, I think it was funny as far as the jab when Juelz Santana asked Memphis Bleek, did his big homie sign off on this? Like, is he going to let you do this? Or are you going to be written out of the wheel?
That was funny. That was funny.
That was funny as hell. So I'm wondering, does Memphis Bleek ever really live that down throughout his day-to-day? Like, is he still Jay-Z little homie?
Of course. Always.
That's crazy. At 45, 46 years old.
Listen, he hasn't carved out a lane for himself. I know he does some things with Duce and all that, but like, ain't nobody really paying attention to that. Exactly. So, no.
Bleek, man.
But listen, Bleek doesn't have 20. Juelz
got 20. Yeah. With Dipset, 2 albums, numerous mixtapes. You do it, the Wayne series. Come on, man. Can't feel my face. He got 20.
All right, maybe.
He got a medium 22. It ain't just like you poo 20 like you think it. It's a medium 20.
Memphis Bleek has a light 8.5 max.
I couldn't get you Memphis Bleek 20. There's no way on earth.
Yeah, no, it's impossible. And then Juelz told him it had to be only stuff that he wrote. So he was wearing them out, dude.
Man. I think the verses should start leading into that. Maybe make these little pre-matches or something like that, man. Like a little one-off.
They doing that with the next one.
Are they doing that with the next one?
The R&B one. There's like an opening act, quote unquote, verses.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
And how long we've been talking about? We've been saying they need to have a little 10-piece.
Yeah.
Because everybody ain't got 20. They need like a little 10-piece opening act. They're gonna do something similar with the next one with the R&B joint. It's Omarion and Mario, and there's no way on God's green earth that Mario has 20 records for a versus. But the opening act is like, I forgot who the opening act is, but it's more. But they have an opening act, basically an opening verses. It's like Mario a tag team.
Maybe he wrote some shit you don't know about.
That's true. That's possible. That's a good point.
The pen game.
That would save it. But no, I'm not checking for this. And please give us some legitimate verses. There's a label versus that's supposed to be on the way. I'm very interested to see who that is. But until then, man, wake me when we get to that. If it's not Cash Money No Limit, then just let me sleep. Most influential Southern albums, continuing our influential series. We wanted to do albums. We didn't know which region to start, but then we were like, fuck it, let's not overthink it. Let's start where we at. Southern albums. You said 5. I got 10 in the clip ready. You ain't talking about nothing. But I can go 5 because we probably are overlapping, which is probably going to work out. I'm sure we probably got a couple.
Well, I'm sure if you got 10 right there, all 5 of these are probably on your list of 10 then. I didn't rank them in any way. I just wanted to name 5 that I thought had a good background with it, and that we could start with. But since you got 10, you want to start?
I was gonna say, give me two, because I'm gonna say the ones that we think were overlapping. Like what? Give me two. That just the first thing you think of when you think Southern albums.
400 Degrees Juvenile. I know that song.
100%.
Yeah. Reason being, like that's the album that put Cash Money to the
global,
from being Southern to national to global, like you
Facts.
said, with bling bling and stuff to come more. But yeah, 100% that 400 Degrees Juvenile was on my Master P Ghetto Dope.
I had Ice Cream Man because that's the one that took him from neighborhood. So that had his first hit on there. And so that's why I say influential, because his first hit, that was like half West Coast sounding, half Southern New Orleans shit. And obviously the Ice Cream Man single was the one that put him on the Southern map. Ghetto D obviously put him on the nationwide map. So really, it could have went either way. I went back and forth, but I chose Ice Cream Man, but I'm not mad at Ghetto D because that put him on the national map.
And that's what I did with the 5 that I just chose out. It was what was the album that put them on the national map or said something artistically about the South that hadn't been said before that album came out. So those are the 2 that I stood out. Reason being Ghetto Dope, like you said, the the video with the tanks, just being like he had put the grind and the work in with Ice Cream Man and True and all of those things. So by the time that this came out and it was on BET, it was like, okay, this is what a Southern artist is in 1995. This is it. Masterpiece, selling it out the trunk. He made that slogan popular down here. It's just that was the one that made everybody notice the South on that one. So that's why I took Ghetto D over Ice Cream Man.
And a lot of people don't remember Ghetto D, I believe, had 2 solo songs. Everything else had features. And that was late 97 when it came out. And we know what happened in 98. That's when everybody with a deal on No Limit dropped a project. So that was really Ghetto D low key is a compilation to set the stage up for what happened in 98. So that was really like a commercial for the roster on the low. Like I didn't really peep this until I really looked at Ghetto D, and I was like, but a nigga by himself on like 1 song, bro. I was like, oh shit. Like, that was genius, nigga. Like
absolutely. Another reason exactly why I chose this album. You're 100% right.
I'll go with 2 that I don't think you have.
I was gonna say I got one that I know you don't have, but go ahead.
I'm gonna do 2 I don't think you have. I have 3 6 Mafia Mystic Styles. And the reason I have that is not their best album. It's their first one, but it was groundbreaking because that triplet flow that the Migos rap with today, they were rapping like that back then on the like dark bass heavy production. That flow and that style, like that is emulated to this day. That opened the doors way back then to the sound, like the trap shit that you hear today. It's all got little small remnants of original 3-6 shit. I could have went Chapter 2 with Tear the Club Up and Late Night Tip and all that. Those are more recognizable songs. But I'm saying Mystic Styles because that's the one that underground people recognize and respect. Like if you get around people that really understand that genre, and you go, oh yeah, 3-6, oh yeah, and then you name like nigga the fuck, oh yeah, I'm twisting my hips from side to side. They're gonna be like, nigga, what? Like, no, nigga, like they gonna be saying, no, nigga, what the fuck are you talking about? They're gonna point you to Mystic Styles or at worst Chapter 2. So I went Mystic Styles just because it was the first, and I figured that was to be a little bit of a different lane that we wouldn't step on each other's toes regarding. And then one more that I don't think you have, and I'm going to follow in the trap footsteps. I'm just going to do a modern version of it. Waka Flocka, Flockavelli.
Oh, man.
Listen.
Didn't even consider it.
Listen.
Please tell me why.
Supremely slept on. However, him having a full album produced by Lex Luger, niggas wasn't doing that. Like this was the same year that BMF came out, that sound right there, was bubbling heavy. Lex Luger did BMF too. But Waka did a whole album with that sound. That's that like Atlanta. It's not crunk. It was past that, but it's like early trap shit. But he didn't have the same flow and cadence as like Amigos would change it to a couple of years later. But that sound with that, the same way Jeezy came through with Shorty Red and all that, like that Lex Luger sound. Lex Luger's still eating off of them beats he sold off of Flockavelli from niggas like, hey, I need one of them. I need that. I need one of them. I need one of them. That is it's often overlooked because we don't look at Waka as like an artist for real. But that album is slept on. He had major hits on there. No Hands, Hard in the Paint. You know what I'm saying? All of that shit. And it's a banging album too, real low key, but it's influential as well as being quality because that sound was super new in 2009, 2010 when that came out. So that's why I have to say it's influential. It put Lex Luger on the map and that style. Without that, we don't have Metro Boomin, in my opinion.
That wouldn't have never had that on my list. I don't think I've ever even listened to that.
It's bang. Really?
Yeah, I don't think I ever even. I mean, I knew like
that album is banging though. It's way better than you would think.
You've always liked crunk music with the 3-6
for sure
reference and that. So yeah, I could see that. But
let's be clear.
In my bag.
One and done for Waka though. After that, it wasn't nothing.
That was it. Right?
That was it. To be very clear, respectfully, that was it.
Mine were again when I was picking this list, it was more so influential from the scale of the South influencing the rest of the nation. Mm-hmm. So it won't be always the album that I first fell in love with or the one that's most impactful in the South. So with that preface, the two more that I have is T.I.'s Urban Legend, because I feel like that's the one that made the rest of the nation take T.I. as serious, pun intended, but as we took him. Like he had the hits on there, smashes. I just did a thing over this weekend where I was able to use some of the Urban Legend songs, and like you forget how good that album was.
Oh, it's banging.
How it still holds up today as far as so many hits, and I think that people weren't expecting that. They were expecting another little modest Southern artist, not the king of the South shit that T.I. was on, and it went a long way. As far as the expectation, to quote Michael Jordan, the ceiling is the floor. It raised the floor up to where people had higher expectation for Southern artists, in my opinion. And the other one, Outcast, Southern Playalistic, Calidocious, whatever the name of that one is. No, not even whatever the name, not disrespected. But that album is the only one that I remember, the song Players Ball. When I'm watching Rap City as a young kid from the South and I'm seeing all of these New York and Mobb Deep and Wu-Tang videos, I will always see Outcast. I will always see the Southern Players Ball. It made me want to go listen to the album. And when I was young, it wasn't as for me as most people like fell in love with them from day one with Aquemini 9 AT Aliens. I'm more of a modest Outcast fan. I respect what they've done. But this one here is the one that made me proud to rep the South, seeing them in Atlanta jerseys young. Because, again, I always seen New York people on Rap City, so it was good, refreshing to see these niggas with the braids. And I remember that video with the Cadillacs and that shit. And it always made me at least have my eye out for Outkast. So those are the two that I had. Did you have either one of those?
I had T.I. and Outkast, but two different albums. I had Trap Music, because that's considered the classic amongst many people, not everyone, but that's considered the classic. The phrase trap music in itself was big and influential, used to this day, obviously. And then Outkast, I had AT Aliens, because I feel like that was the next level up from Southern Playalistic. Like Southern Playalistic was still, they were getting booed at the Source Awards when they won Southern Playalistic. When AT Aliens came out, they weren't getting booed anywhere. Like that was donezo. Like people still wasn't really recognizing on Southern Playalistic, but I think they finally got it on AT Aliens. And I think that opened doors even today for people like Dante Hitchcock, Scotty ATL, Big Crit, Earth Gang, obviously. Like it opened the door for like the non-street, but I grew up in the hood rapper from Atlanta. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not the dope boy nigga or not the street nigga, but like just a regular nigga that grew up in the hood and is like can paint pictures of what it is that I saw. Like those were regular kids that had fucking comic books as they album cover. You know what I'm saying? Like that opened the door for that person to make music. And like they're super influential. But I mean, either one of them albums you could pick. Like I didn't really get on them until AT-Aliens. Like for real, that was the first one I bought. But I mean, that's all. It's a coin toss, honestly.
Right.
Two more. I cheated on these two though, because they're mixtapes, but they're really like albums. Because I had to have a Wayne project on here, but I took Dedication 1 for what that did for the mixtape scene, especially for a lyricist like Wayne, and that what he was doing on Jack and Beats for the South. I thought that was major and opened the door for a lot of people to kind of follow that wave. And then he was just in his bag for that whole series 1 and 2, taking songs, making them his. I can listen to that shit today and it's still gonna go. It was between that and one of the Carters, one of the first 2 Carters. It was between those two. But so that's why I was kind of stuck. And then another mixtape I had, and again, I'm looking at this from a modern trap perspective of how things sound today. And I went Migos No Label 2. That's the one that had, what was on that one? It was hella hits. Fight Night, Handsome and Wealthy, Freak No More. Yeah. Like this was like the YRN mixtape had Versace, which was like, okay. But then we needed them to do it again. And so they came out with a mixtape with Fight Night, Handsome and Wealthy, and Freak No More. Like those are 3 big records, relatively speaking, that were like, oh, okay, these young niggas are serious. And people have been rapping like them on those songs ever since. That was 2014. We're almost 10 years later, and they are still everybody, nigga, it's R&B singers that sing in the flow of Migos, dude. So that's how influential either one of those projects you could flip a coin. I just chose No Label 2 because that was the stronger of the 2. And it had 3 big ass records.
Nice.
But mixtapes, but albums at the same time.
Since we're breaking rules, my last one breaks our rules as well. Goes a little bit outside of our time frame, which we usually never do.
Right.
That's usually boom bap rap. But I remember vividly the song off of this and getting into Scarface after I seen this. And this is the Ghetto Boys album, We Can't Be Stopped, with Bush We Bill on the front of it coming out the hospital, and it had my mind's playing tricks on me. And I could remember being slick scared of that video when I seen it on the box. And it always, again, when I said keep my eye out, and was looking for stuff that I was familiar with on TV that had to do with rap when it was mostly New York based coming up, this was one of the things. Like I started figuring out who Scarface was. My older cousin had his album, so I was like, okay, I like this. This don't sound like Nas or all the other stuff I see. It's boom boom bap on TV. So for me, mainly that song, and then going back now and listening to that album and seeing how it added some more depth to what we were talking about the South. This was 1991 when this came out, so it was mostly New York and West Coast based. And if it was coming from the South, you thought it was Luke, the fast booty music. So for these niggas to come out and have that mind playing tricks on me as a nationwide hit, Scarface rapping his ass off on there, I had to put that on there.
No, I ain't mad at that. And I actually thought about one of the Ghetto Boys project, but I wasn't on them when I was young, when it was out.
The only reason I had an older cousin that used to listen, I don't even know if he still like him to this day. He used to love Scarface.
Yeah.
He used to listen to this, and then again, that mind playing tricks on me was big when we were little. So I just have found out about it from there. But I do remember that in rotation heavily when I was young.
Scarface, what's the album that everybody talks about when it comes to Scarface in the 90s?
The Diary.
The Diary. That's the one that everybody talks about. It missed me.
I had that cassette.
You see? Everybody talks about that one. And
it was the man, I loved Never Seen a Man Cry Until You See.
Yeah, that was the shit.
I don't know why. But that was my fucking song. So I bought the diary at least 3 times with a cassette tape and 2 CDs.
Yeah, that shit was that record was heavy as fuck. But again, I thought about it, but I couldn't really speak to it because I wasn't on it back then, so it wouldn't even hit the same. My last 2 that I had, and again, if you would have done 10, you probably would have had these 2 on here. Jeezy 101, obviously. We talking nauseum about that. Y'all know what that did for trap rappers, people that can't rap, people that looked at rap as a hustle. Yeah. We know what that did. That birthed 1,000. It birthed 1,001 rappers after that.
A whole new style, dude. It was a whole new, like, it was amazing. Yep. Even locally, like just from a local standpoint, you used to have a studio. Like the local niggas that hustle that you would see coming in and just no way they would be ever blow up from rappers. They just waste their money talking about how they made their money and how they waste their money. Shit was amazing, dude. That shit stemmed from Jeezy.
That was the Jeezy effect. And then, of course, UGK, Riding Dirty. That's a legendary group, and that's their best project. So that's how you kind of that's just how simple that is. It's a legendary group, and that's their best project. And then I had to have something from Texas. I couldn't have nobody from Texas on this list, even though Little Flip Underground Legend was close. I almost made it. It almost made it.
That was as delusional as he is.
That was the album that got him his $20 million deal, and that was a year and a half before Texas or Houston specifically blew up in 2005. You have Little Flip Underground Legend to thank for that little mini run that Houston went on in 2005.
Little Flip got $20 million.
Yeah, off that album. He signed a deal with Sony.
I remember that vaguely.
That's what I'm saying. Influential.
Sony got robbed.
They ain't recouped none of that.
Ever signed that lost their job. You about to lose your job. Definitely lost their job, nigga. Jeez.
They ain't worked in music since.
Ever again. You signed a Little Flip? We'll call you. No, we'll call you.
Oh, you're the guy who signed Little Flip to $20 million? Oh, okay, no, we'll call you. Don't call us, we'll call you.
We'll call you. No, your resume looks great. It's awesome. We'll stay in touch, brother.
Hey, man, y'all let us know. Leave something in the comments, man. Drop five of your influential Southern albums. YouTube.com/OnDeckTV or on On Deck TV show on Instagram. Either or, we are here for it, man. What we got for these W's or L's?
Wins and losses. First up, man, this is a controversial one. I'd love to know what you think here. Quavo walks in the barber shop and his barber has a guy in the chair, and what happens? You got to go, buddy, mid-cut. Honcho here. Is that a win or a loss, Adam Brown?
That's a win for the guy that had to get up because I know that haircut was free once he got back in after Quavo. What?
One free haircut.
Nah.
I ain't getting mid-cut. Man, stop it, bro. That nigga better make an appointment. Nigga, what is you doing? Nigga,
they dropping $200 for that cut.
And yeah, he probably did, but I would be pissed. I ain't gonna lie.
I would be too, but my cut gotta be free though. My cut has to be, I'll get up, my cut gotta be free. That's all.
Mid-cut, you sitting there looking crazy with the half hair off and but this goes to also expectations we were talking about with Drake at the beginning. If he tell me when he started cutting, hey, I'm waiting on Quavo, bro. Like
that's fair. That's true.
I had to get up and I'm gonna finish up. You know I'm gonna take care of you. That had to be the conversation.
That's true.
Anything else, I'm disrespected. You disrespected me as a client, bro. I don't like nah, nigga. That's nuts. Next, win or loss. The mayor of New Orleans was at a rap concert and she was caught on video. Rob 49 is the artist. She was caught on video breaking up a fight at his concert. Win or a loss that the mayor of your city has to break up a fight at a hip-hop concert?
This is a big win, nigga, because the mayor wanted all of the smoke, nigga.
All of it, nigga. New Orleans people are different, nigga.
Man, I thought she was finna beat the gallows.
She said, oh, she don't know who she is. Man. Hey, that's a big W. I thought you was going to go L on that. That's a big W. The mayor wanted all the smoke, nigga. Get the security detail down. I got this. I'm gonna handle her in this little bathroom, nigga. New Orleans people different, man. God.
Man, first of all, when I seen this, I didn't know the mayor was a female. I'm expecting a dude to be the person breaking the fight up. When I clicked on it and seen it was a gal, I was like, huh? Nigga, and she was face to face, nigga. Like she was with all of the shit.
How you think I got this job, bitch?
But all in all, she did actually end up breaking up the fight. They didn't end up fighting. Then the artist Rob 49 showed love to her at the concert. So no, it was actually pretty dope though that she was like, I saw them fighting. I was like, nah, don't do that. Like, and she stood and then broke it up. And even though she almost got the fight in the process, but I respect it though. I ain't mad at that. You don't see your politicians doing shit like that, man. I ain't mad at that.
Yeah, I like that, man. Latoya Cantrell. Shout out to her, man. Big W for you for the On Deck TV show.
100%.
All right, next, win or loss, the Nipsey estate launches the Marathon Collective Dispensary over the weekend.
Man, that's a big W. I watched the documentary on this. They put out a documentary maybe like 2 weeks ago and was teasing the release of this. Dope looking space. They talked about the thought process behind it. They talked about Nipsey's. They showed him kind of learning the marijuana game and how they were in it on one side of the game, and now they were excited to get in it on the legal side of things. And it was a super dope documentary, man. He was working on this before he passed, so I'm glad to see this come to fruition. If I smoked, I would definitely pull up next time I was in LA for sure.
Big W for that. You're absolutely right. The cannabis game is getting crazy. One of the things that I saw that was interesting with this, when people were talking about the loops that you have to jump through as an African American to get in the cannabis game, this person was a cannabis entrepreneur, and they said check out investing abroad. It's a lot easier as far as getting into it, and like they said, you have to have $1 million+ to get into the game here. Those same type of restrictions and requirements may not be across the world as far as places that it's legal, so there may be some opportunities there for those looking to invest in cannabis. Look abroad.
Interesting.
That was pretty, exactly. I thought that was really interesting. But this is a big W. W.
On Deck of the Week, man, goes to 2 new subscribers. Shout out to John Bajuice 89 and Doobie 20. Brand new subscribers on YouTube. Hit that like button if we just shouted you out. Make sure you leave a comment too, man. We appreciate y'all.
Absolutely. We do appreciate all the new subscribers. Listen, tell somebody else to do it so we can keep this thing growing and showing. Put us on something this week, AB.
I got a book I just got through listening to, reading, whatever you want to call it. It's called The Millionaire Fast Lane. It's a really, really dope book. It talks about how there's 3 lanes to wealth. There's the sidewalk, there's the slow lane, and then there's the fast lane, and how most Americans or most people are on the sidewalk or the slow lane and don't necessarily realize it. And just talks about how to get your mind set to be in the fast lane to the millions and not the slow or the sidewalk. So it's really dope. Millionaire Fast Lane. It's on YouTube for free if you want to just listen to it. And that also leads to my second put on, which is YouTube Premium. I'm doing the 3-month trial. Nigga, that shit is crack. YouTube, it can play YouTube in the background. You can download videos to watch later when you offline, and it has no ads. So you don't really realize how clutch that is until you in it. No ads, the fact that you can download them.
I've always heard that once you try that, you wouldn't go back to the normal. Like, it's sort of like sitting first class. Once you go first class, like, I ain't trying to go back.
I'm going to be sick when this little trial ends.
How much is it?
I don't know.
I think. Yeah.
It might be $9.
That ain't bad.
Yeah, it's just another one though. It's like, do I want to add another one?
Yeah, another thing. I need to do a monthly. I need to do an inventory check on my streaming service. I feel like I'm getting outdone. Like, I'm definitely finna do a sweep. My put-ons, I got a book as well, 2 put-ons. My first one, book that was recommended to me by my therapist. I was talking about being assertive, not being as passive, and he was just telling me about how grit was one of those things that you don't necessarily have to be born with. It's something that you can pick up and apply to your life. He recommended this book by Angela Duckworth. It's called Grit, The Power of Passion and Perseverance. I've just started it. I'm about 2 chapters in, man. It's a really dope setup, and she's just, again, talking about doubling down and just going for the stuff that you want after in your life. And it's not a self-help book per se. It's just giving you stories and information on how other people got to some of the places that they wanted to get to in life. So it's really good suggestion from him. And my second one, man, from Dead End Hip Hop, I went over there and did an Odd Friday with my guy FIFO 247. Had to clean them up, represent for the home team, spoiler alert, but you can go check out the YouTube video on the Dead End site over there. It's Odd Fridays. We did a T.I. versus Jeezy. You can only take 3 albums. You can only play 4 songs off of those 3 albums. And we went round for round, and I got my guy through there, man. Everybody I text and asked about it told me I was going to lose. No one, gave my guy T.I. a shot. But I came through with the W over there. You would never guess Animal Brown, the songs that won him for me. You would never guess, bro.
Was it a single?
Yes.
24s?
No. Wow. He wasn't expecting me to play this. I feel like you may have been expecting this, but he didn't know how much of a T.I. fan I was, so he didn't know I would go in the crates and get this. One was Whatever You Like.
Okay.
He played, and it was, you'll see how it plays out. He played Standing Ovation.
That's banging though.
Ain't no beat no Standing Ovation, so I had to go all the way the other way. Yeah. They had to do the song for the bitches because Jeezy don't got none of those. And they voted for the song for the bitches, which was an upset there. And then this is another one too that people weren't expecting. This is why they got the vote. He played Trap or Die.
Yep.
Damn near unbeatable.
Yeah.
But I beat him with your mans, the Kanye West T.I. Very rare. People don't know that he did the beat on that I'm Doing My Job or Just Doing My Job. And they beat him out. And those were the 2 that really were sneaky that I won, that people weren't expecting that came through. But it was very entertaining. It was a fun thing to do, man. I have to get you over there with those guys and do one of those. But it was fun. Go check that out on the YouTube page for Dead End Hip Hop.
Yeah, man, I cleaned somebody up real nice. Listen, guys, appreciate y'all tapping in. You already know, youtube.com, On Deck TV show. Instagram, the same thing. Leave a comment and a like and subscribe. Anything else before we get out of here?
Nah, not at all, man. We appreciate you guys tapping in. As always, support the real. Listen to Another Weekend in the Books every Friday with me, Spike Lou, and my man Mo too. Yeah.
Yes, we out, man.